All right, let's remember a couple of ideas about circles. So if I have a circle in a coordinate plane, and what we're going to be doing will be in a coordinate plane. And let's say my circle was just in quadrant 1. So remember that this point right here is called the what? Yeah, it's not. There's a better word than middle. No. Center. Lord. It's the center of a circle. Center. All right, so that point's called the center. You're going to see this quite a bit in a little while. Now, the segment, though, that goes from the center to a point on the circle, doesn't matter which one, is called the radius. That's the radius. We'll denote it as R. Okay, the radius. And notice there, how many radii? An infinite number. There's an infinite number of radii. And a segment that goes from a point on the circle through the center to the other point on the circle is called the diameter. So in a couple of problems, you will use the word diameter. They will use the word diameter. So we need to know what a diameter is. So a diameter is a segment that goes to the center, and the endpoints are on the circle. And how many diameters are there? An infinite number, just like there are an infinite number of radii. Okay. Now, if I look at this circle right here, all right, this circle, and notice it was supposed to be where the center is located where? At the origin. All right, so the center is at the origin. It looks like it's a little off. And let's say I am trying to find the equation of this circle. I'm trying to find the equation of this circle. So just like when we did finding the length of a segment, we used Pythagorean's theorem. I'm going to use the same idea here. So I'm going to look at the radius right here. I'm going to look at the radius. So that's R. And I'm going to call this point right here X, Y. Call that X, Y. And I'm going to go straight down. I'm going to draw a right triangle, just like this. Okay? What are the coordinates of this point right here? Remember we talked about this earlier. It'll be, huh? No. But with what we have here, though. It's X, X, and then what? What? Oh, X, 0, right? You agree it's X0 because it's on the X-axis? Okay, X0, right? You agree that's X because that's X right here, right? You agree every point that's on this segment has X coordinate X? When you're on the X-axis, what's the Y coordinate? 0. Okay. All right. Now, what is the length of this leg right here? Remember, finding vertical length, you subtract which coordinates?
The Y.
The Y. So it's Y minus 0. Y. Okay. What is this horizontal length? Remember, that's the origin, right?
So it's 0?
Uh-uh.
Oh.
It's X. Because remember, when finding the length of a horizontal segment, you subtracted the X coordinates. What's this X coordinate right here? X. What's this X coordinate? What's X minus 0? X. So now I can find the equation of the circle by just using Pythagorean's theorem. X squared plus Y squared equals what? R squared. So X squared plus Y squared equals R squared. So what we found is this now. Listen carefully, and you're going to see this in the next example that I gave you, this sheet. Basically what you found is this. Where was the center of this circle? At the origin. So whenever the center is at the origin, the equation is going to look just like this, the equation of a circle. except you got to determine what the radius is. Okay? And it's very simple, what you're going to see in a little while. All right, so that's the equation of a circle. That's the equation of a circle when the center is located where? At the origin. Okay? All right, so let's look at this example right here. Right here. All right, so let's find the equation of this circle. Well, where's the center? At the origin. All I've got to know, if the center's at the origin, then all I really need to know is the radius, the length of the radius. Now, drew it in such a way where you can tell me the length of the radius. What is it?
4.
Huh?
4.
4. The length of the radius is 4. Guys, remember, this is the center right here, right? The center is the origin. No matter where I go, no matter where I draw that radius, it's all going to be the same length, won't it?
Right.
So what's this length right here? 4, which means all these are what? 4. So what's the length of the radius? 4. Length of the radius is 4. So the equation of the circle then will be x squared plus y squared equals what? 4 squared. And what's the answer? X squared plus y squared equal 16. So that's the equation of the circle. X squared plus y squared equal 16. As long as the center is located where? At the origin. It won't always be, but you're going to see what to do when we get to it. All right, so notice that many of you couldn't find the radius, even though you knew what the idea was. You couldn't find it in this plane. I'm hoping now you could tell me what the length of this radius is.
4.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's 4 still. Because this is a center, right?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 as well. Right? But what do you notice? It's not the center. The center is not where? At the origin. Okay? But I'm going to use the same idea we use here. I'm going to use the idea of Pythagorean's theorem. And then we're getting to the point where, what is the formula for it? So you're going to see what the formula is for any circle. All right, so what are the coordinates of this point? That's 3, 5, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right here, the center?
Yeah.
All right, and we know that the radiuses are. All right, now I'm going to call this right here x, y, right? Because I don't know what that is. I don't want to estimate what that is. I'm just going to call it x, y. Okay? I'm going to draw a right triangle like this. Now remember, my circle's not that great, so don't think that right here is a 6. It could be 6.04. All right, so be careful. All right. Now, I want you to tell me this point right here, what are the coordinates of this point right here, though? Huh?
6, 5.
No, you don't. No, it's not necessarily 6. It looks like it, but it's not. It's not. It's the way I drew. See, I didn't draw a very good circle, did I? All right. So it looks like the side I drew landed on 6, but that's misleading. I want you to tell me, just like we did earlier, that if this is x, then this right here has to be what? X. Okay. And what's the y coordinate right here? 5. So that's x comma what? 5. Okay, that's what I need you to tell me. Okay? So that's getting us to the formulas. I'm just showing you how you can generalize the formulas by using the example like this. So now you can tell me what the length of this side is. You subtract which coordinates? No. Vertical, you subtract the y. So that's y subtract what? 5. But remember, distance is always positive, so make sure you put absolute value. Okay? Over here, you subtract which ones?
X.
The x. So it'll be absolute value of x subtract what? The x coordinate. 3. So x subtract 3. All right, now let's find the radius. Let's find the radius. So remember Pythagorean's theorem. I take this side and do what to it? Square it. Plus, I take this side and do what to it? Square it. And that's going to equal, I ran out of room, that's going to equal the radius squared, which is what? 4? So I get x minus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 16. That's your equation. That's the equation of a circle, of that circle. Notice, for many of you, you struggled with finding this point right here. So if you struggle with finding this point, and some of you still struggle with finding this vertical distance, so doing it this way, you will struggle to get this answer. But I did it this way so that we come to a generalization of the formula, because the formula does involve this idea. Notice right here, you see this 3 and this 5? What numbers were those? This 3 and this 5?
X and Y.
No, that was the what?
X and Y.
The center. The center. So the center is involved in the formula, right? If you're going to write the equation of a circle, you need to know the center. What else do you need to know to write the equation of a circle? The radius. All right, more of you said that one right. Good. So to write the equation of a circle, you need to know the center. What else must you know? The radius. All right. Yes.
For an equation like this, it's like drawing the lines the way it is. You wouldn't really be able to know the way it is without doing all that first, right? We can clearly see that like the radius 4 on here, like we can count out.
Yeah, you can count it out, right?
But I mean, without knowing it.
Without knowing what?
The radius. We would just have those coordinates, and we would have to find the radius.
No, the point of these two diagrams was to get to a generalization for the formula. Okay, so you won't be given, on a test, you won't be given this diagram. You'll be given, here's the center, here's a radius, what's the equation? That's a plug and chug.
Okay.
We're getting to the formula. So if you're told the center's 3,5, the 0.35 and the radius is 4, then all you have to do is go to the formula and plug things in. Now, there will be a situation where you'll be told the diameter. Then you have to find the information you need, but that's not difficult. Okay, so all that to say this. The equation of a circle and what I might do is on one, like a worksheet right after your test, have another one like this where you manually, like we did, figure out the equation. Just so you can remember Pythagorean's theorem and all that. All right, so the formula for the equation of a circle is given like this. Now that's assuming that your center, we're going to denote the center as HK. The center for a circle is denoted as HK. And the radius is R. Okay? Now, notice that in the equation we just found, it was x minus 3, right? And my center was 3, 5, right? And then y minus 5. So in the equation of a circle, it will be the same form. It will be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. That's the equation for a circle. Notice HK is the center, R is the radius. And that's the same idea we did here, right here. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals 4 squared. 4 was your radius. Okay? All right, so let's look at some problems dealing with this part right here, dealing with the formula for a circle. All right, okay. So let's write the equation of a circle. Write the equation of a circle with center 2, -1, 2, -1, and radius 3. Number 1. So write the equation of a circle with center 2, -1, and radius 3. You have the formula. What's the formula? What does the formula say? Read the formula. What does it say? X minus h squared, y minus k squared equal r squared, where h and k are the coordinates of the center. So right away, just like when we labeled the points before, I can label this 2 as what?
H.
H. And I can label the -1 as k. And the 3 will be r. And you just plug. There's really no chugging. There's just plugging. Because you're not going to multiply anything out. You can leave it like that. So you're going to say x minus what? 2 squared plus y minus a -1 squared equal r, which is 3, and I got to square that as well. And so finally your answer, I need for you to simplify it though, will be x minus 2 squared. And what I mean by simplifying is this. You all need to know that y subtracted -1 means what? Y plus 1. Don't leave it as y subtract -1. You'll be very upset. And don't leave it as 3 squared. You'll even be more upset. That's what? 9. So that's your answer. Okay, number 2, same thing. So write the equation with center. Let's say the center this time is -4, -6, and the radius is 5. Okay, what does a -4 represent? H. And what does a -6 represent? K. So I get x minus a -4 squared plus y minus a -6 squared equals a 5 squared. Now your answer, though, will be x what? Plus 4 squared plus y plus 6 squared equal 25. That's the equation of a circle. That's your answer. Number 3. Suppose this time you're told that the center is -3, 8, and the radius is the square root of 10. -3, 8, and the radius is the square root of 10. All right, again, what does the -3 represent? H, and K is 8, right? So just plug into the formula. So I get x minus a -3 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals the radius. What's the radius? Square root of 10, but I got to square that, right? Just like that. All right, now the answer will be x plus 3 squared plus y minus 8 squared equal. All right, let's see if you remember that one. 10. The square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is what? 10. Square root of 100, which is 10. That's your answer. Okay. So x plus 3 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals 10. All right. Any question at this point? Okay? All right, let's look at this. All right, listen carefully. Listen carefully to this. I need about 10 minutes, and then I'll get you started on some worksheets. You can spend some time working on worksheets. All right, suppose I tell you that the equation of a circle is given by, and let's say this is the equation of a circle. X, we do number 1, x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equal, let's say, 9. So x minus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equal 9. Okay? All right. So then I want you to tell me several things. Find the center, the radius, and then graph. Graph the circle. All right. What do you think the center is? 2, 3, right? Not negative 2, negative 3. Because remember, it's x minus what? Remember, the equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So hk is your center, remember? So using those examples we did earlier should have helped you right away to determine the center. So it's x minus h. What's h? 2. Y minus k. What's k? 3. Now, remember, 9 is not the radius. 9 represents r squared, right?
Yeah.
So r squared equals 9. So if r squared equals 9, how to get r by itself? Square root. So what's the radius? 3. You'll see that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Take the small grid paper out, the small one, and let's go ahead and graph this. So to graph the circle, what you need? All right. To graph the circle, what is it you need to find first? The center. You need to find the center first, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's the center?
2, 3.
2, 3. So let's denote the center. And what I did to draw those two circles I did earlier was I did the center first, and then I did the radius. What's the radius?
3.
3. So here's what you do. You go 3 units to the right, put a dot. Go 3 units up, put a dot. Go 3 units to the left, put a dot. And then go 3 units down, put a dot. And you connect those outer dots as a circle. Just like that. All right? Just do the best you can with drawing your circle. So go right, up, left, down. Okay? And you just connect the dots, the 4 dots. Okay? Let's do one more. All right, number 2. Suppose that this time my equation is x plus 3 squared plus y minus 8 squared equal, let's say, 49. We're going to use a large graph for that one. Okay, so you got to find the center first, so let's find the center. What do you think the center is? Negative 3, 8. Now remember, the reason it's negative 3 because you got to remember your formula. The formula says x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. It's not x plus, it's x minus. So you see this x plus 3 I have here? Isn't that the same thing as saying x minus the negative 3? So h is what? Negative 3. And then this is already y minus, so what's k? 8. So it's negative 3, comma, 8. That's your center. What's the radius?
7.
7, because you said, well, r squared would have to be 49. And so the square root of that would be 7. Okay? All right, so use the big one because there's not enough grids on the small one for that one. So first of all, to graph, you're going to do what? You're gonna find that you're going to do the center first. So that's negative 3, 8. Negative 3, 8. Right here. And then use the radius to help you draw the circle. So what's the length of the radius? 7. So you go 7 units from the center. Go 7 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put a dot. Go 7 up. 1.
You supposed to be above.
What?
You got -8 instead of.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Negative 3, 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not negative 3, negative 8. It's 3, negative 3, 8. All right. Y'all don't have to. Y'all could have told me that at the beginning. You had to make sure. All right. All right. So negative 3, 8. So I did do the center right this time, correct? All right. So from that center, you go 7 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put a dot. And go 7 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 7 units to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 7 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? And just draw your circle the best you can. Make it look like a circle, though, not segments. Do the best you can.
What about a very round diamond?
Don't make it look like a diamond. Make it look more like a circle, not a circular diamond. I mean, see, if I had a pencil, I would have erased this and did a little bit better. Okay, so any questions drawing the circle?
No.
All right. So